movement is our method, but transformation is our mission. We were a 700K a year gym.
With no
advertising,
nothing, no sales process,
no nothing. So that's in the top 2% of all gyms nationwide. We get to lead our coaches in a way that's not only inspiring to them, but it trickles down to inspiring the community of people that we, wanted to passionately influence to begin with.
Hello and welcome to Gym World Worldwide. I'm your host today, Mateo Lopez, running solo.
Not again.
Hopefully this won't be a pattern, but who knows, my partner in crime, John Franklin, is out today, but he'll be back very shortly. With us, we have two very special guests, a husband and wife duo, actually, that own and operate the gym together. Always an interesting way to go about it. Lots of pros and cons, I'm sure, as we'll get into it.
It's a painful memory.
But we have Lane and Payden Montgomery here from Go Performance and Fitness over in Peachtree, Georgia. We're going to talk about a few things today. We're going to talk about transitioning from a large group model, large group classes, large group facility, into a smaller semi-private training model. We're going to talk about what that process is like. We're going to talk about the importance of building systems and SOPs so that you're not burning yourself out on the floor coaching day in and day out. And we're going to talk about how the mission of your gym and the vision of your gym, if you lose sight of it, then you might get stuck, right? And how it's important to hold on to that in order to move your business forward. So without further ado, how y'all doing?
We're good. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Great. Well, why don't we get started with, give me a brief rundown in your own words. What is Go Performance and Fitness?
What is Go Performance and Fitness? That's a good question. So we are a facility who focuses on moving really well, teaching our clients how to move so they can get the results that they're wanting. So our mission, our core values, our mission is movement is our method, but transformation is our mission. And so that rings really hard in how we go about training and coaching our coaches, our directors, and then it filters down into our clients, creating that long-lasting transformation that I think in an industry caught up in so many,
like quick fixes.
Yeah, quick fixes and
6 weeks to summer slim down.
all the things that reality, in order to create real transformation, it has to start with your movement, right? And the process of movement. So, and the patience of movement, right? And so that is what we do. We train, athletes and adults. Our adult model is semi-private group training. So in a small semi-private personal training setting, when we train
up to six people with one coach.
One coach. Yep. So that's our process. And then our athletic development is where we train athletes to get, of course, faster, more agile, jump higher, stronger, all of the above to be better in their athletic performance.
Payden, did you get it right?
Yeah, he got it right. Always.
Got it right?
No, we opened in 2012 as like a large group training model. We also at the time had 24/7 access. We had a third to fifth grade program. Of course, we had day passes, drop-ins, 10 packs, you name it.
24/7 access. We had large group. We had
all of it.
All the things in our facility. I think we started out in our old space where we were we started about 6,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And then we upgraded to 7,500 square feet. And then, when we moved gyms or moved facility, when we bought our building that we're currently in, it's now 87.5, which
bigger and bigger and bigger.
Bigger and bigger and bigger,
turns out,
which is not better. Yeah.
Turns out I'd like to just cut it in half because we don't need all that space since we've switched our model. But so yeah, if you're a gym owner, you're like, I think I need a bigger space. Like you probably don't.
Yeah, you probably
that was definitely one of my questions when I saw that we cut our membership in half and got everyone paying more. I was like, well, what are we doing in this big ass space? But all right, cool. Well, that's great.
That is true.
We asked ourselves the same question, but it's in such a prime piece of real estate that we'd be like silly to move. So we're sticking it out.
Great. And so, okay, so started in 2012, the model, in those early years, it was a large group, a lot of different services, large group. I mean, how big were these classes when we're talking large group?
We started off small, right? So our of course, as every gym starts off small, we started off, with 1-2 people in a session till it growing, before our transition, we would have 15 to 20 people in a session doing strength training. So we were not a typical large group scenario environment. We were a strength training gym first.
Yeah, like barbells.
So we were using barbells, dumbbells, kettlebells. We have a bunch of Sorinex racks, so we'd use our jammer arms and cables. So we were a true strength training gym because we believe strength training is a way based on science. And so, it was hard, when you have 20 people in a session to coach complicated
20 people back squatting.
Dude, it's tough. Yeah, very hard.
You can see why we were like feeling this. We were feeling this tension of going,
is this wise? We have 20 people barbell back squatting, and we have a new person, and we have somebody over here who thinks they can lift a house, and they're squatting a quarter of the way down.
Yeah,
you know how it is.
There were lots of problems with the large group model, and we felt that, but we couldn't quite put our finger on it. And we can talk about like kind of the events leading up to that, but there wasn't really like a sales process, an onboarding process. It was just like, we just sort of pushed you in the pool of large group and like, hope you can swim. And these people hadn't touched a barbell before. Like,
so true. This? So, I started out like a strength conditioning world, love training athletes. I started at Velocity Sports Performance. And then, from there, my passion for athletes continued to grow. That's where I spent a lot of time in my continuing education. And what I realized when I was training at Velocity, the importance or the need for adult group training, because that was probably our biggest bulk of our business. So me as a young, eager, trainee, I'm like, dude, just give me some hours. I'm broke. So I started waking up every morning, 4:30, going up to the sessions starting at 5, and training the adults, and really being the only coach that was willing to do that. And so I kind of got like the immersed in adult group training, which surprised me. How it's funny that those were like it became my community, right? And that's usually what happens to trainers and coaches and business owners that train in a large group format. Is our best friends become, and I'm not saying this is healthy, I'm just saying our best friends is what becomes, is the people, best friends. Mm-hmm. And it becomes really weird, right? So, over this process, I still trained athletes, and the economy hit. And then when the economy hit in, 08, the crash, Velocity quickly had to merge with another gym to kind of keep afloat. And Velocity, if you know anything about Velocity, it was, I think it was a Fortune 500 franchise at one point, and they had probably over 100 locations across the U.S. and globally. And when the economy hit, their overhead was so high. But anyway, it shrunk, and we went out of Velocity went out of business and merged with Speed Sports Performance. I trained there. And then from there, the economy kept tumbling down. I ended up leaving, starting my kind of own thing, started training at a local facility. And then I realized when the economy started kind of going back up or flattening back out, I realized, hey, it's time probably for me to do this, because this is the time, because there wasn't another sports training facility around. There wasn't any large group training going on.
There was like one CrossFit.
There was one CrossFit.
No Orange
and that was
Theory,
it.
no Burn, just a big Globo gym, and
that was it. And so, because everything else went out of business. So I opened up Go Performance and Fitness out of Nashville, Tennessee. Was a franchise. I bought into the model. It's no longer a franchise anymore. We bought the rights. So we have the complete rights of Go Performance and Fitness. But it was...
they had several locations.
They had several locations. I think probably, over 10 locations around, I guess, the Southeast. Yeah, there was some Northeast too as well.
But we're the only ones left.
And we're the only ones left.
So I was going to ask, I didn't know that about the brand, because that was my next question as well. So while maybe the business wasn't totally optimized, as it wasn't performing at its highest, as good as it could be, I should say, it did seem like you grew, right? It did seem like you were able to grow the gym. And how are you able to do that with something like strength training? I think now is much more in the zeitgeist, in the lexicon, but I think back then it was still, not what it is today, right? So how did you attract people to the gym?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just did a lot of goodwill in the community. Like we did a lot of goodwill. We didn't do any advertising. So we just started advertising for our gym last November, like not even a year ago. Didn't spend like a true Facebook paid ad ever.
No.
And it was just like word of mouth, providing a really great service. We
Being
did
a part
of the community, the kids'
being a part of
lives.
everything, right? So, you sacrifice yourself for the calling. And, I think a lot of gym owners feel this. We're doing community events. We're going
to your kids'
we're going to your
basketball
kids'
game.
basketball games, sports games.
You're coming to our house for dinner.
You're coming over for dinner. We're doing ladies' events. We're doing everything for the community. You're training as a coach, because I loved coaching. And I thought that in order for the gym to grow, I had to be the staple. So, you're running a business. You're trying to be all things to all people. You're cleaning. You're the bookkeeper. You're the glue. And
you're
so,
also customer service.
Yeah, you're everything. And so you're taking the hits in every direction. And it grows because what happens is you lean so hard in their direction that, of course, people are going to come because it is refreshing, right? An owner actually cares about me, but you end up quickly, and I can tell, the listeners, you quickly burn out from doing that.
And that's where we were about a year and a half ago.
Yeah. I mean, I did that for 13 years straight, guys. And so it was miserable. And my wife took the big hit because we had 2 young kids at the house. She had to not only do the bookkeeping, she got all the calls.
My cell phone was the gym phone.
Yeah, it was the gym phone. I mean, literally, we couldn't
chaos.
set it down. Every time we went on vacation, we did anything. It was like constant people sending me text messages. Lane, tell me how to do this. What am I doing wrong here? It's like you're constantly needed all the time. Yeah. And that becomes your identity. Your self-worth becomes how well do you please them?
Yep.
Right? Instead of how well are you taking care of the mission
and the business
itself
yeah.
and in the people that are actually that you're leading. And so what happened is in those early days, I would have trainers, of course I was, just my people pleasing like mentality and performance identity issue that I got going on is that, I was really kind to my trainers and my coaches. So I always was helpful, but I didn't do a great job leading them. Yeah. And so we would get coaches that would come in for a year or 2 years, and then, they would have to go do something else because I wasn't providing them the hours.
Well, and there was no
or the level
of like a real vision either.
A vision,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, or tiered progression for them. So they could improve and know that this could be a career. And that was a lot of failure on my part as a leader because I just thought really the people needed me. Like, man, I'm for it for the people.
Well, and also I think you thought that they would love coaching just as much as you do.
That's
and
correct.
Want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But now we've made lots of changes, which we will get to. But that was kind of the old way.
That was the old way, and it really has nothing to do with Go Performance, the model, as far as what the franchisor created. Nope. It was Lane just took it and went with my own. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I do it. I've been doing this for a long time kind of mentality. And I'm sure a lot of people out there do that. It's unfortunate because even though you're trying to do the right thing, you not only lose your time that's super valuable, but you look back and go, man, I could have done a lot of things differently. I could have grown a lot faster if I would have just made these changes or someone would have told me, hindsight 2020.
Yeah, we didn't really have enough to step away and to actually look at our business, like from the 30,000 foot level, which about 2.5 years ago can I bring up trash?
Yeah, this is perfect.
This is kind of where the whole thing started to come together. So about 2.5 years ago, I was like,
3 years ago now.
3 years ago now.
Yeah.
I was like, is this it? Like, have we peaked out? Like, are there any more members in the community, or is this forever for us? Like, what do we do? And so I reached out to the lady who manages our social media now. Her husband is a business coach and he has a partner. And I was like, what do y'all do again? What is this business coaching? And they took us through 2 years of Traction by Gino Wickman, which is like pouring gasoline on your business. And it was like, what is your mission? What are your core values? What's your org chart? What's your 10-year goal, your 3-year goal, your 1-year goal? And we went, that sounds very simple. You can't really iron that out in a day. It took us 2 years because we didn't actually know all those things. And at the end of Traction, before we went to the Growth Summit in Chicago last September, like our revenue goals needed around 400 large group members. Do you know how hard it is to find 400 people that are comfortable doing barbell work in a large group setting and with 20 people? And there are not enough hours in the day to train them.
Not since 2016 CrossFit could you probably do that. And now, and even then it was hard to do.
So we're like scratching our head going, And we would add a member, lose 2, add 3. I mean, it was just this constant, oh man. So,
and I'm working so hard to keep those people from my people pleasing mentality, right? I'm performing. If Lane's not coaching, we don't want to be coached.
Oh, we had someone else write the programming. They freaked out.
They freak out. It's like, we want Lane. Like if I walked in the gym, everybody wanted to ask, hey, Lane, my knee hurts. What am I doing wrong? And of course I could correct it because I'm coming in. I've had over 60,000 hours of coaching, literally from 5:30 in the morning till 8:30 at night. So I've not only have I seen movement patterns, but I've done all this continuing education because I thought, because if I'm the system, then I got to be a hella good system to train 20 people how to barbell back squat. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so they needed me, and I was the system instead of us creating the system. And that's where our business coaches came in and really, Drew and Jordan McClure, and Mitchell McClure.
Yeah, they really pressed us hard. Like,
oh man, it was awesome.
Man, is that your goal? Is that your mission? Does this still feel right? Like, wear this for 90 days and come back. And then as we're working through this, he's like, just keep a running list of issues. Like when we grow to 400 people and hit that revenue goal, what are the issues? And I mean, the list was long. It was like, we have a really small parking lot. Even though we have a big facility, there are no parking spaces. I'm like, the gym's going to be a mess. Payden's going to lose her mind because I can't deal with 400 people's credit cards. Like I can't. How are we going to manage all this? And I'm like, dude,
we had the drop-ins. We had like our athletes coming in. Like then we had competing cultures. We had 24/7s, people coming in and wanting to work out on the racks.
We don't have any racks.
We had athletic training on one side of the gym. Then we had, our large group training on another side of the gym. And it was just like chaos. I mean, kids running by, going, 20 miles an hour, and then adults stopping, about to get hit. It was just a mess. All these issues that were because we were going, man, we got to reach this revenue goal. We got to get here. Because, what we saw was what everybody sees in large group is that there's this churn that happens a lot more frequently than in a personal training model.
And most large group gym owners are not looking at their data closely enough. And there's like that one gym member that skews it. Well, he's been with us for 18 years.
Of course, everybody's got those diehards. We had, probably 20 people, 25 people that started with me at Velocity and that still train with me, and
but there was a lot more churn, and most gym owners aren't honest about that. So we go to the Growth Summit in Chicago, never been to a business conference, but Lane's like, we should go. I almost died. I was like,
yeah, I'm the one that's saying this. If I'm saying this, then we know that like I've kind of reached.
There's trouble in paradise.
Lane has reached his max capacity on like being the thing. Like that last year, man, when we were going through Traction before we made this shift, like I was running away from the gym. Like I would go on vacations. We went on like literally 2 to 3 months of vacations when this last year before we made the change, because every time I went in the gym, I was needed. Payden was getting calls. It was just constant contact from everything, trying to please everyone. Hey, my friend's coming into town. Can they come work out at the gym? And they wouldn't even like offer to pay. They just would bring them.
Or they would tell me, hey, I brought my dad in last week and we worked out this Sunday. I'm like,
oh, my kids have been coming in on the weekends.
What?
You know, and you're like going, dude, do you realize this is a massive liability? And like, I'm not getting paid enough for you to bring your friends and your parents and your grandparents and your kids for free in our gym. You know how it is. And every owner probably is dealing with this. That's our, listeners.
Just know you can change it.
No, you can change it. That's not reality. It doesn't have to be reality. You don't have to please people to have a healthy business that actually transforms lives.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we go to this Growth Summit. We have all these revenue goals, these issues, and we hear over 2.5 days about this semi-private model. They pay more. They get a personalized program. So that means that Miss Susie, who should never barbell back squat a day in the rest of her life ever, she doesn't have to. And she can get a great experience. And then you can put Susie next to Anthony, who played college baseball, who's 30, and he's doing, hang cleans to split jerks. And they can all train together. They all have their own tablet. The coach can actually coach because you have up to 6 people, which means your head's on a swivel, but you can actually inspire meaningful coaching cues. You're not babysitting a group of 20 squirrels who just want to socialize and fist bump and high five and hang around till 90 minutes after their class is over.
Yeah, they won't leave either.
On your boxes, you're like, can you go home? We said at the Growth Summit in September of last year, like, hey, I think this makes a lot of sense. It aligns with our mission and our core values. It aligns with our revenue goals. And I held up that issues list and it literally just made it go blank. Because now, of course, I can have 12 cars in my parking lot. Like,
right.
Right. And so we started implementing the changes over the course of the winter of last year. Mm-hmm. You're going to laugh. We started using contracts. Look at this. Yes. We have contracts now.
We didn't have contracts before, guys.
It was just all willy-nilly.
Yeah, literally. People would come in and give us a card, or no, they would sign up on an app.
And never talk to us.
They just show up. Yeah.
So this happened right away. This switch from this wasn't a gradual switch.
It was a little bit gradual, and the fact that
this is like a fast switch. I would say if you're looking at a business overhaul, it was a complete one. It was like opening another gym.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you guys, it was. And it was not only opening another gym, but the fallout in relationships that occurred because of this transition as well.
Well, that's actually the part I wanted to ask about is because we did a price increase one time, and the relationships that were damaged during that was crazy.
Like the grocery store can increase price, Starbucks can, but we can't.
That's right.
Which is garbage. That's garbage.
This isn't a simple price increase. This is like, oh, we're changing the way you go to class here now.
Exactly.
So, how did you how did you start those conversations? And then if you could go back, do you have any advice for people who are going to maybe go into those conversations?
I think we can make it kind of quick.
Okay, go.
We were schooling ourselves up on sales, semi-private waivers while large group is going on. I'm trying to hire.
Tell them what we did first, though. First, we joined the Iron Circle, which is like a mastermind group.
He knows.
That's the original process. So we joined the Iron Circle because we knew we needed help in implementing these processes that we didn't have. Like automation, we didn't have automation. We didn't have a sales process. Nothing. We didn't do advertising. Now we had programming, but we changed how we programmed and what we were programming. I mean, literally it was a business overhaul.
Yeah.
And we did about 2 months of intensive. We went to every meeting. We showed up at every Zoom call. We asked all the questions.
We were definitely the neediest kids on the
block.
We
were so needy because we knew we needed to make the change because Lane wanted to just quit the gym business because I was so burnt out from people. And so I was like, if we want to continue to do this and help the people we know God is really calling us to help, then this is what we need to do. And it was one of the most faith-driven things I have done in my adult life.
Yeah.
Is I have a model that's going to kind of give the listeners an idea. We were a $700K a year gym. So, with no advertising,
nothing, no sales process,
no nothing. So that's in the top 2% of all gyms nationwide. We were crushing it. So I made this change based on God's calling in our lives and in our mission
Yep.
and our core values and what we know we needed to do because we felt the tension, right? So it's a little quote that Andy Stanley says. He goes, pay attention to the tension.
And we had felt that for a while.
And we felt that for a long time. And so we knew we had a lot of like weird enmeshment going on. And so we joined the Iron Circle. Man, they took our hands and like held it all the way through. They're still holding our hands. We still ask tons of questions, because this is a year, we're almost a year into the switch. So probably 8 months, I'd say 8 or 9 months.
Yeah. So we came home and Lane started doing semi-private, like we handpicked a few people. And this would be my strategy if you're thinking about doing this, is you go to that client and that large group. They're like, they have back pain or, they have shoulder pain and they could probably afford it. And just kind of, hey, I need you to help me beta test this new thing. And I'm going to train Tuesdays and Thursday mornings at 7:15 and just give me all the feedback. And we got all the kinks worked out. We learned about semi-private pro. And then I'm actively on the back end trying to hire some coaches because I knew we needed more staffing. And so Lane was kind of learning the system as we go. She was
learning the marketing.
I was learning marketing. Yep. Then we started adding more session times and we only had it in the morning and it was only Lane doing it because we had to operate everything else. And then what I would not advise is telling your other clients, your large group clients, what you're doing. Just be like, it's another program. We're just adding another layer to the menu.
You're just cherry picking
the people that will love it.
The people that will love it.
And we said
there's a lot of people in that large group scenario that
don't like it.
Yeah, that really are there because they want the coaching because they feel unsafe, but they're the ones that are kind of quiet, right?
Timid.
That kind of a little more timid. They're the ones that understand that movement quality matters, range of motion matters.
They're
not trying to PR. That's right. They're not high-fiving people and going, getting in their little pods. The large group was kind of like a cult, right? They're the ones that are kind of not cult-like. They're the opposite of that. And so you just kind of, and you'll know it. I think anybody that's doing this, most people have enough emotional intelligence to realize who's going to be a great fit for it. So that's what we did. That's what we did at first.
Then
our mistake was that we announced it to the gym after a month of doing that.
Like, hey, we have this vision and here's how it aligns.
Oh, we're going to change everything. Get ready.
That's right.
And then they asked us, do you think that you will get rid of large group? And at the time, we didn't think so because I thought they could coexist. And so many people in the Iron Circle were like, no, ma'am, they cannot. And I'm like, no. My people built different. They're different.
They love me. Like they love me. I've been to their kids' games. I've given them food when they were sick. Baby showers.
No.
They're my friends.
No.
Dude, they ain't your friends.
No, they're not. And so that's a hard pill to swallow. It's been been the biggest pill to swallow for both of us. Mm-hmm. And so I would not advise that. I would just say, grow that program. If they ask what you're doing, just like, oh, we're adding an extra layer of service for people who really want this customized approach. If you want to come try it for free for 3-4 weeks at what you're paying currently, I'd love to have you. You got to pre-book into the sessions and you just kind of let it grow organically. And I think the second biggest mistake we did is when we had decided we have to sunset large group training over the next couple of months because we were selling into semi-private and I needed the rack space and our coaches were feeling the tension. So at that point we're in December, January.
We were in December, like at the end of December of last year, we had probably about 35 or 40 semi-private members training. And then there were a lot of sarcastic remarks going, oh, they're the rich people. Oh, Lane's over there training them. Lane he doesn't care about me anymore. Right. And so these real passive aggressive remarks that were really undermining our mission, our core values,
where we were headed. Our coaches came to us several weeks in a row and were like, can we please get rid of large group? I'm tired of babysitting these people. Because
it was babysitting.
And I thought they would think like large group would be like, the kind where you kind of coast in and like deliver a fun experience. And that semi-private would like really wear on them. And they actually said the reverse was true. Like we love getting there and coaching, Kenny, because, he couldn't move his shoulder up past his, shoulder height. Now he can raise his arm up over his head. And so
they were making meaningful change because they were coming because they wanted change, right? Where we created a lot of entitled clients
with the large group
because of my people pleasing. Yes to this, yes to that. yeah, you can bring your friend, whatever. And so they were, I mean, literally there were no signups in large group either. Like they would just show up to class. But I don't know if there's going to be 6 or there's going to be 25.
Right.
And so now we have a system of sign up. So we had this, so my privates signing up, there was a wait list, all those things that you need to have in order to make a customized experience, high level experience. We started feeling that massive tension between the two warring cultures. And then we started to feel the tension that our coaches were carrying.
And we're like, this has got to go.
And we were going, well, I was going to plan on cutting it in August 1st. Actually, like 2 weeks ago is when we were going to cut it, but we ended up cutting it February 1st.
Yep.
So it was like this hyper, like we ended up cutting large group so soon that we were bleeding cash flow because, we were a business that's revenuing X amount. And then we cut literally we had a mass exodus of large group because, and again, we thought we were doing all the right things. We hand called probably more than half of our large group clients.
Hey, we value you. I want you to know this is coming. And on the phone, they're like, I'm never going to pay that for my training, just so you know. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was like, I can't believe you're doing this to me. It was like a direct attack to them. The whole thing was like it was terrible as far as that's concerned.
But
it was so hard.
I will say, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just sell into it like mad.
That's correct.
And when your monthly recurring revenue, if your space can allow it, starts to meet what you're making MRR in large group, then you say, hey guys, we've got this awesome thing. This is our new switch. So here's why. You can try it at your same rate for 4 weeks, but come September 20th, you can either change or go. And I will say, you're going to tell yourself at night, if you're making this change or thinking about it, oh my gosh, I'll keep like 80%. They're my friends. I've gone on vacation with them. You might keep them for a little while, but they aren't the kind that will be sticky and don't,
because they won't accept your mission and your core values. They're thinking the old you is now not you anymore.
Like
they think
changed.
that we changed.
We didn't change. We changed our model,
our business.
So I like the model much better. He's feeling better, I'll say.
Yes.
We had a coach in our ecosystem named Noah who had been with us for 5 years. And we promoted him to the director kind of in that process. He fully stepped into that role probably in April of this year. So he's handling all the sales. He handles all the like day-to-day operations, scheduling. He mans the phone. He deals with like anybody that's got an issue, and the coaches report to him and he reports to us. So now we actually have some buffer and structure to like make decisions for the business without just being lost in the sea of the business. We hired other coaches. We switched to uniforms. We like, hey, if people are going to pay, our semi-private pricing is $399 every 28 days. Like you can't show up with a backwards hat and like, a brewery t-shirt on. That's just not going to work. So collared shirts, it just kind of elevated the experience altogether. And so, yeah, he's manning the floor as the director with 4 other coaches that report to him. And then for Lane and I, we get to now focus on like, how can we pour into our coaches and like spend all our tokens with them instead of giving an inequitable amount of our time, energy, and emotion to the clients. So that's where we've kind of shifted.
Yeah, so we've completely shifted from applause from the people, right? Instead of leading from transformation, we were getting applause from the people to now actually having like structured systems in processes in people that now we're able to lead through our mission and our core values instead of allowing the people to lead us. And so with that, kind of give you some really cool stuff that has changed along with Noah being our director, is that we have our director, our coaches, we have a marketing director, we have someone that's a client care specialist. And then we have our meetings every week where we have our team meetings. We have our coach the coaches, where that's where I get to develop and pour into the coaches as far as systems, emotional intelligence. We just had a meeting on Friday here where we did an all-day staff meeting where we did crucial conversations. Where it was expert led, And now we get to really lead our team to really carry out our mission. The other way, right? So you can kind of see the contrast is we were being led by applause instead of the people, instead of being led by our mission and our core values. That's been phenomenal because it's beautiful. And so I'm encouraging anybody and everybody that's listening is that this is so cool. I never in my adult life have had clients come up to me going, man, you have changed my life. Now we're getting that. We're getting, I had a young kid going, I've never PR back squats before. I haven't PR back squats for 10 years since I was in the military. Yeah. He was like, and my knees don't hurt. My back doesn't hurt. And then we have, a guy who's lost 50 pounds since we started semi-private.
He was our first
client.
Yeah,
he was one of our first clients. Yeah. And he's down 50 pounds. He's like, tell him what he said.
Oh, I was like, Sam, you're getting kind of skinny on us. He goes, I know you like it. I'm like, you're looking good, man. And he goes, you know what? I used to walk in, he's a lawyer. So he's like, I used to walk into these high-end stores and man, that suit looks good on that mannequin. And then I'd ask for it in my size and try it on and be like, ooh, I don't look like the mannequin. Now he goes, I look like the mannequin.
It's incredible. We're getting those the true transformational stories because of the model that we're implementing. And it's because we get to lead our coaches in a way that's not only inspiring to them, but it trickles down to inspiring the community of people that we wanted to passionately influence to begin with.
Yeah.
And that's really the gist of the whole reason why we wanted to change our model and why we felt God was leading us to change our model was really based on that.
People.
Yeah. And so it's just been remarkable to see it. Our client or even our coaches will, come up to us and say, thank you so much for pouring into me.
Oh, I'm part of a team.
I'm part of a team. They're so excited. Like I have a guy who is working at Georgia State. Okay. He's a G at Georgia State. And he comes up to me and he goes, dude, I didn't ever think that working in the private sector would ever be a possibility for me. He goes, I'm almost questioning whether or not I want to be a strength coach in a college setting now because of what we're doing here at Go Performance. Cool. So we got high level people. He's getting his MBA. He's super bright kid. He's 24 years old, 25 years old, and so he's, doing great things. It's like they're coming up to us and saying this, well, we never got that affirmation from doing all the things that we were doing for all the people.
Well, actually, and I would say we spend less energy on the client stuff. That's correct. Now. It's more about our team. And I'm sure you want to get into some like nuts and bolts too, but I will say this one thing. I feel like most gym owners are dudes. Don't not do the core values work. Like, I know that sounds like a kumbaya, let's sit around and talk about our feelings, but we have 5 and every decision really flows through them. And we're so passionate about having these 5, A, they're in our office, and B, one of the KPIs for our coaches to get a bonus is if they live out these core values.
Hey, gym owners, are you looking for a way to generate more leads, close more sales, and increase client retention? Introducing Kilo. We are a software company that gives gym owners the tools they need to increase revenue and run a successful gym. With Kilo, you get a beautifully designed website to capture more leads, an integrated marketing automation platform to increase sales, and our gym management software so you can add new client memberships, process payments, and organize your class schedule. If you're ready to upgrade your gym management software, book a call at usekilo.com. Yeah, that was my next question was how did you, what was the process of getting those on paper?
Yeah, so this is the simplest
exercise.
This is
awesome. You're going to love this.
It's in the book Traction. And so sit down with your coaches if you want and be like, if you could hire anybody to come work for XYZ gym that you know personally, like you can't hire Elon Musk, right? Okay. And write their names down, like 3 to 5 people, right? Personally, And then we all shared our names, which we had a lot of overlap, actually. We handpicked some clients that we modeled these after.
Our business coach, Jordan, said, hey, try to make it to where it's clients that come to your gym.
So we could all talk about it.
So that's what they said specifically.
There was a lot of overlap, right? And then we said, well, why is Mike on everybody's Post-it note? And I'm like, well, and so you're talking about like, you're just kind of noodling on like, well, this, and he's done this before, and this is what I know about him. He's a superintendent. And the reason that Mike was on there and the core value that was birthed out of this is move forward with people in mind. So Mike gets a remarkable amount of work done. Longest standing superintendent in Georgia history in the same county. So he gets an incredible amount of work done, but he never does it at the expense of people. So that's one of our core values. And so you just have to noodle. We have 5, but you have to sit down and go, why would I hire Betsy? Oh, Betsy's this way. And really, if you shuck it down as owners, those are really our values most likely, because that's kind of, that's our business. So
kind of give you, if you want to know the core values.
I'll say, so I just said move forward with people in mind, mission focused, not job focused. For our coaches, like if the trash needs to be taken out, dude, take it out. Like I know we have a janitorial service, but like, bro, consistency in who we are and how we show up, right? Like we don't want volatile people. Growth through humility. Like you're never really the expert. We're always growing. And then be positive, move as one. And so our coaches lived those out. They were amazing through our switch from large group to semi-private. And like I said, they get a bonus based on those every quarter.
Yeah. And every staff meeting that we open up with core values. We do like a little spinner where, a little game on the phone, and it spins and it goes to a core value. And then we say, either tell how you lived out this core value, or you've seen one of the coaches live out this core value.
We just have one person share.
Yeah. And one person shares, and usually it's something that's super heartfelt and super meaningful. And it's like everybody gives everybody a round of applause. Like, man, that's awesome. Great job.
And we learn stuff like,
and we learn stuff through people.
Jacob had it a couple weeks ago, and it was mission focused, not job focused, I think. And he's like, I got to give shout out to Taylor, because if she hadn't covered my morning classes the week of my finals, I would have failed my class. And Taylor's a mom of 4. Like, do you think she wants to pick up an extra morning shift? Probably not.
And what's crazy about this is, everybody's listening. She offered. He didn't tell her. She goes, "Oh, you're having finals this week? Oh, I'll take your morning shift if you need me to."
Yeah.
And literally, that's how that happened, because of, it's just intrinsic, right? It's like we're, living, breathing those core values. In our DNA. It's who we are. It's what makes us. Makes our business tick.
But I think like if you're thinking I feel tension in my business and I want to take it to the next level, you can't skip over that work.
You can't. It's impossible. Yeah, that's your guiding light.
Yeah,
sure. Every review from even having hard conversations with clients, and trust me, I've had a lot in the last
year.
Yeah, year. Oh, it's been terrible. And so every time I have a conversation, I point it straight back to the core values. Hey, look, how you're behaving right now is not aligning with our core values. And we have this conversation. Hey, you're not being inconsistent in who you are and how you show up. That's not how we want to act as coaches, how we show up to the gym. Your passive aggressive comments is not allowed here. Can you please not do that again? Yeah. And so those conversations we've had to have with a lot of people, they stayed or leave. It's up to them to make that decision. Yeah. But we know who we are and what's guiding us.
And our business isn't just in a better place. We have a great team, good systems, a clear beacon, a clear path ahead. This is the way forward. And we have a better relationship with our business. It's healthy. It's not enmeshed anymore. Like that's our business. We make decisions based on data, not emotions.
That was my next question was, it sounds like you've hired quite a few people. So how has your kind of revenue, your average revenue per member, how has that been impacted since the change? Where were we at like prior to 2020 and where are we at now?
So we can go over, let's go where we at.
I'm pulling up a spreadsheet if it looks like we're like zoning out.
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
We're pulling up the spreadsheet because we knew we were going to get this.
So 2024, let's take it back to September 2024. We went to the Growth Summit. Our monthly recurring revenue was around 46,000. And then we had a lot of add-ons, like I said, day passes, drop-ins, 10 packs, etc. So that's 46. And so our highest monthly recurring revenue year to date of 2025 is 56. So I will say there were large group churn, right? So take that in consideration. But if you're really looking at the health of your business, it's the MRR. Right. Mm-hmm. And so we're slowly growing that
while monthly recurring revenue,
while the gross isn't the same.
Yeah. So if you're looking at, say we had, say we had 150 in large group at one point, let's just make that number up because I'm not real sure if that was the case or not. Before we made the switch, to kind of give the listeners an understanding, in September, as soon as we got back from the Growth Summit, we actually stopped selling 24/7 large group completely.
And drop-ins and day passes and everything.
So it's September. So we did not sell any memberships except for semi-private memberships starting in September. So it's been like almost a whole year of not selling that. And there was a whole time where we didn't sell semi-private. So from September till all the way till November, we didn't sell any memberships.
Zero.
So September and November, no memberships. The only memberships that we sold were our athletic performance training classes.
Yeah.
And as anybody knows in the athletic training world, is it seasonal. We don't really count that MRR because
it is kind of
it is, but it's up and down. It's volatile. It's like, we're going to keep maybe 50 kids in there almost, the whole time. That's kind of what we're thinking. And so it's a volatile business. That's why it's not our primary business. Literally, we quit. So we didn't sell any group training memberships or any adults until November. And so from that time to now, it's been 8 months, almost 10 months, 10 months, almost 10 months. And so we've increased our MRR with all the almost like I would say 80% of the large group training members leaving. Left. And then probably in our 24/7 has dwindled from, we had over 250, 260 to now 120. So we've had all this churn, all these people leaving. It's been like a max exodus, but our MRR is growing each and every month.
Yeah, I think that's the takeaway. That's
the takeaway. Yeah, for sure.
With a couple of months of not selling at all, and then
we went in pretty hard.
Yeah, I think this is the fastest any of the Iron Circle members has done it. Like we went in and we were like, "Hey, dude, we got to make a change. Let's go for it. It's going to be hard. It's going to suck."
But they told us like it's going to suck anyway.
Yep.
Like it doesn't matter. Like you can make it suck for 18 months or 8. Like you pick. And so, and I don't want to say that to discourage anybody from thinking about switching the model. I just want to be honest about it, like what we would have done differently. But the golden nugget in there is that monthly recurring revenue. And if you're going to ever sell your business, that's what they're going to look at. Like we had months in the 60s last year, but like, they're like, where'd that come from? Like a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah, it would go up. It would go from like, 60 to like 42. I mean, it would drop off, $20,000.
And you never could predict the month ahead. Now I know I have XYZ people on year-long contracts. We have a penalty if you break it. We have a wait list. Like it's just much healthier. It's just, we were living life like unhinged a little bit as a gym. Now everything's systematized. We've got great coaches. I mean, like, and it's freed us up. Like, we're at home right now. Obviously, my kids are upstairs. We're homeschooling our kids. Like we have a lot more freedom than we had prior to the switch.
So what's next for the gym? What's going on? Where are we going? What's happening?
A great question.
That's a loaded one.
That's a loaded one. We still feel like we're in the messy middle. We're still growing the semi-private.
Yep.
We want to reach that $1 million mark. That's our big,
that's our 3-year target.
Our big 3-year target. So
we're committed to that.
We're committed to that. We're committed to growing this thing in our people.
He's writing a book.
Yep. I've written 2 books. One is actually based on this whole transition.
Like the performance.
Yeah. Mindset. The performance mindset, the performance identity. It's the book's called, You Don't Need to Bleed to Lead. And so I think a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people that are, that have the grind mindset, that you don't have to grind and actually be your business. You can create a business of your dreams if you're willing to do the hard work.
Yeah.
Right?
And we went from being self-employed to being entrepreneurs, right? Like we have more autonomy, more freedom to make choices that suit our family better. And so
it doesn't mean it's not hard. I mean, it's, it's still hard. It's you're an entrepreneur. So all the risk is on you.
Yeah.
You still bear the weight, the burden of that. However, it's just, we're in a healthier place. So that being said, knowing that, are we going to, do multiple gyms? I'm not sure.
No, I think you just pack out that 8,000 square foot space with all these semi-privates.
That's correct. Right. That is correct.
With the 6-person groups all over
right,
that
everywhere.
Place.
That's right. All over, man.
Everywhere.
All over. And just go to town and be done. So kind of give you an idea of kind of the swing so people understand the numbers changing to this model. It's always easier to sell a high ticket price item than it is to sell 100 lower ticket ticket price items. So, if we're comparing the large group to semi-private, we're looking at about almost 2 times, a little over 2 times
like
the price,
2.5.
2.5 times the price difference between what we were selling and what we're selling into now, where we needed 400. Over 400. Now, listen, this is crazy. We needed 400 large group members. We needed 500 24/7 access members, and then we needed about 100
to make $1 million
athletes to make $1 million in our business.
And we'd have lost our sanity in the process.
And we would have, we would have killed.
I'd much rather have 150-ish.
Yes.
Maybe 200 on a
so
semi-private clients to manage.
We only need 200 semi-private training members to reach the $1 million mark. So
and no
you're
athletes.
looking at, and no athletes. Yeah. So, I mean, we could cut the athletic development. Not that I'm going to, but we could, and it could literally revenue at or over $1 million with just 200 people in my gym. That is just a beautiful sound to my ears, right? It's like, I can manage all those people. You can deliver on what our deliverable is. We can manage our coaches really well. And it's just one location, and it makes it easy.
And if I'm a gym owner on the other side, I'm thinking, well, my clients will never pay that. You're right; they probably won't. But there are people in your community that will be happy to give you a credit card on file and sign a year contract for $399 all day long.
Mm-hmm. Especially once they see see how you're doing it. If you're doing it the way that we do it, as far as everybody has their own program. There's a tablet on the wall. Everybody's tracking the workout. We use Kinetech, which is a software that screens their movement. Now it is actually synced with the software that we're using. So you can literally screen someone on the fly, and it will scale the person up or down.
Live in their program.
The program that day. So there's some stuff out there, especially with technology, that will allow your programs to be simplified, your processes and how you train. Gone are the days that you need, a paper clipboard and write people's workouts down. That's a lot of mess and a lot of work. And you don't have to do that. And you can get some,
some people still really like it. Some people like the binder. Some people like the folder.
I don't know how.
Some people like it. Some people see the value. Some clients like the folder.
That's true. Some people do. Some people do. That's true. Yeah. That's true.
I would say if you're not getting ahead of this AI and personalized where the world is heading, then you may be left behind if you don't adapt.
Yep. You got to adapt somehow, and it's going to be it's the personalized attention, meaning the coach can coach without looking down. Because every time the coach looks down at a tablet, he's not looking at the client. And so we teach our coaches not to turn their backs on the group sessions, meaning if they're in a conversation with somebody, their body position is toward the floor, because they can have a conversation. It can be intimate, but they're viewing the other people in the process. And, our goal is to get as many steps as possible in a session, right? So they're walking around, they're cueing, they're telling people what to do. Of course, they're still intimate. They still ask those personal questions. They still connect. But it is about that deliverable. And you don't have to worry about doing this, writing it down, okay, they need to change it to this, and then all of a sudden, Susie over there's, doing an RDL and she's, overextending her spine and she's having back pain the next day. So it's a great process. It's been, it's worked out really well for us. I'm excited to see what happens over the course of the next 6 months. Because as we've grown in this, we've seen, ways to improve it. Our coaches have seen ways to improve it, and we're just we're going to keep improving and keep getting better. That's all we can do,
Well, if people want to follow along the journey and watch as this gym continues to get better and better, reach that $1 million mark, where can they find you?
We are on Instagram at Go Performance PTC. Our website is also goperformanceptc.com. Probably following us on social media is probably the most interesting. The website's going to sell you a package.
There
social media
good.
is
what we're supposed to do.
Our girl does a great job on the social media, so you can follow along. And I guess, when we hit the $1 million mark, we'll do a little. We'll call you back.
We'll call you back. And
Maybe it'll be from a sunny island.
Yeah,
that's right. Hopefully, be from somewhere else.
I'm excited for part 2. We get the $1 million mark. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, gym owner, if you're out there listening and you got some value out of this, give it a like, get a subscribe, share the episode with a fellow gym owner in need. And if you are in need of a little bit of help, a little bit of support, check out usekilo.com, where we can get you set up with a website, marketing automation platform, and a gym management software that can help you sell more semi-private personal training packages so you too can get to $1 million. That's it for now. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.